I am the example. That's my intention. The choices I make each and every day, they are not just for me, they are for everyone around me. I am the example to everyone I touch and the compound effect of those people. My example has a flow-on effect to everyone around me. And I do not take that responsibility lightly. Everything I do, I set the example. I am grateful for the opportunity to be the example. I set the example. That's my intention. I set the example through my actions, not my words, not by what I say, but by what I do every single day.
What's going on, everybody? This is Walt Blackman, and 2 days in a row. Can you believe it? 2 days in a row. So I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, that's why we're doing it today. And of course, we're going to be doing the tomorrow or Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Thursday, we are going to be talking about the big, beautiful bill, if you will. And today it just passed. But today, what I want to talk to you about is something a little bit different than you all. Some of you all may know about this, and some of you all may not know about this. I want to talk to you about legislative scorecards. And before I do that, I want to get into where you can actually go and look at a member's votes. You can look at their bills. Some of you already know how to do that. Some of you have been around for a while and you understand where to go. So let me get into that just really briefly, so I can just show you where you can go to check out a member's vote, or a member's whatever you want to find on a member. And it's pretty cool. A lot of folks already know how to use this website, and the website is the Arizona State Legislature website. And there are a lot of tabs you can go to find what your legislator is doing. And I've done a show about this before, and it's pretty intensive. If you don't know what you're looking for, or you don't know where exactly you want to go. So when you get there, you just go to or plug in www.azledge.gov. This will come up, Arizona State Legislature. Of course, you got the House and the Senate. Okay. If you want to find a member, you want to see what a member is doing, all you do is you go to House or you go to Senate. You go down to members. You click on members, and you are going to get the House members. Okay. And what'll happen is, let's say you want to see what I'm doing. Okay. There I am. That's my district. It shows the district that I cover, name, my office, and my office number. So let's say you want to see what I'm doing. And that's what a lot of folks typically want to see. So it has the committees that I serve on. It has minutes to those committees and agendas. If you're interested in finding out what's going on in government or approps or commerce, you just click on that and it'll take you to the committee. Now, these are the bills that are either sponsored or co-sponsored. A lot of damn bills. I'm not doing a lot of bills next year. So what the C means is co-sponsor, and the P means you are a prime sponsor of the bill. So, for example, 2146, I'm a prime sponsor of that. That's Arizona Border Coordination Office appropriation. And what it does, it established more border security for our state. Also, you can go down, you can kind of see where my priorities are just based on some of the bills that I've written. Um, um, so this is where you can go see what a member is doing. Okay. Now, I typically do not uh, have other people on my bills. Okay. I just do that as a just as a uh, precaution, if you will. So if you want to know what's going on, also you can always go to you can find out what's going on in the house by the calendars that we have. So today, correction, the last calendar update for the schedule of May, it'll have the calendar, what we're doing, so on and so forth. So that is, let me get back here. I need to get back, man. Let's go here. All right, here we go. So again, you go to the page, it'll tell you what you want to do. If you want to go to legislative council where they actually draft the bills to make sure they're constitutional, JLBC will be talking about in a little bit. The Capitol Museum, if you want to do a field trip down there, the agencies that are within the state. This is a good one right here. The bills, you want to track bills. Let's go ahead and track a bill. Let's see. Let's see what kind of bill that we can track. Let me go back and do this really quickly. And we'll go back to there. And let's track a bill. We're going to track this bill so you can kind of see what we're doing, what we typically do. So if you want to track a bill, let's say what bill got signed today? Oversight, corrections oversight. So that is 1507. Ones are Senate and twos are the House. You click in 1507. The bill information will come up as independent corrections ombudsman, auditor general. And this is a Bullock bill. It was signed today. It actually talks about, it goes through when the bill was assigned, what committee it went through. If it's a money bill, it's an appropriations, it goes through rules, so on and so forth. That's going through the Senate, comes over to the House. Well, actually, when it gets to the floor, you can see the votes on the floor. So this one had 23 nays, 23 ayes, 5 nays, and it was amended and it passed out of the Senate. Came over to the House, and I threw an amendment on there to get the bill moving again. Went to Government Committee, then went to the floor, 4610. Then it went back over to the Senate because we threw some more amendments on there. 26 ayes, and then today it was signed by the governor. So this is the place where you can go. You can find where bills are. You can look at the status of a bill if you want to know how a member voted on third read, how they voted for the bill. You just click on status, third read, and this is the Senate. This will have everybody who voted on this bill. And if you just want to see, the nays, so on and so forth, if you want to see the, all the votes, so on and so forth, you can go to that. And that'll show you the status of the bill. You want to watch a video of the bill, all you got to do is click on one of these, and the video of the bill in every stop of its way will show up here on the left-hand side. Talk about sponsors, who's sponsoring the bill, okay? And some of the key words, if you need to pick out, you're trying to find the bill. RTS is a big deal. RTS is request to speak. You can sign up for the request to speak. You just have to go down to the Capitol for the initial sign up, and you can put your name in this group here, whether you are for or against the bill or you're neutral. And in some cases, if you are down, you're going to be at the Capitol, you can actually speak on the bill. And then you go to documents, and that's where the actual bill is. So if I wanted to pull up the initial language of the bill, SB 1507, pull it up, and this is the actual language of the bill. This is the bill before it was amended. So anything in black is session law and blue is new. If you need the Word document type or the text document type, you can get that. Also, floor amendments are common at Cal, are in a committee. So when this went to my committee, we threw an amendment on it. It passed out of the committee. Then it went to the House floor, and so on and so forth. And this kind of tells you where a bill is at. So the reason why I tell folks that is so they can do their own tracking on these bills. And, if somebody is kind of telling them something that may or may not be true about their bills, it's okay, where's my bill at? Are you going to have my bill up there? Are you going to, so on and so forth. So you can do that. I'm putting a big hello in here really quickly. Still working out some of the kinks of this thing. So again, that's how you can find out where your member is voting. The reason why I talked about this is because I want to segue into the voting cards. A lot of y'all heard about scorecards, and scorecards are something that the legislatures, the members get voted on. Now I'm going to tell you, scorecards are, I would say, bogus sometimes. It depends on who's putting out the scorecard. So there's a couple of sites that I actually go to check on a scorecard. And a lot of folks, when they see a scorecard, they think that is the be all, that's the be all gospel on that member. Now, the problem, again, some of the scorecards are biased. And what is a scorecard? It kind of talks about where your lawmaker has scored on their voting record. And the problem, again, is that they are biased. So say, for example, I think we voted on 1,400 bills this past session. And what special interest groups will do is they will pick probably about 10 bills out of that 1,200 bills. And then they will grade you on 10 bills. So you may have 10 bills that you didn't like that piece of legislation because maybe there was some constitutional issues. It was a money bill that was attached to the bill, money bill. That means your budget bills. You didn't like it. You didn't like the appropriation. And say you vote no on that. Well, your score is going to dictate that no vote. So it shows a lack of content. And then you're running around during campaign season trying to explain why you voted no on a bill that people say, well, you didn't get a 100 on a free enterprise. Okay, well, I'm free enterprise, but sometimes the legislation that is ran through with free enterprise, are folks trying to push free enterprise, is not really free enterprise. So it's skewed. So here is some of the places you can go that are nonpartisan, that are conservative, and that you can find out what a lawmaker is doing. So one of the places that I go to, let me pull this up. Oh yeah, it is Vote Smart. Now, some people may like it, some people may not like it. I like it because it's non-biased. I mean, it's nonpartisan. You can see what the lawmaker is actually. You can just see everything that lawmaker is doing. So I pulled mine up. This is from 2024, 2022. They haven't put out the new ones yet. So you can get into the bio, the votes, their positions, and their ratings. And everything you want to know about that lawmaker, you can find out where I stand or where that lawmaker stands. So if you want to go to votes, you just click on votes, and these are, oh, they got the 2025 ones up. What's going on? Okay, so we got the 2025 votes that are up. Okay, so this is a collective of the votes that concern Arizona policies. So what'll happen is, let's say, let's talk about this one. I took that vote a couple of days ago. Establishes class 4 felony for assault, which include 2 or more accomplices. So that bill right there, it's a concurrent vote. It passed out of the House. And this vote right here that was a party line vote. So anytime you see something that close like that, it's typically a party line vote. So all you do is go down, you go to that www.azledge.gov, you pull up the vote, okay, and then you can kind of see what it is. Now, it means current groundwater statute. We're talking about water, so on and so forth. Okay, so so these are pretty accurate when we do this. So let's say, okay, well, I want to see his positions. Now, they have no positions on there yet. They haven't taken the ones. Well, let me do that. They haven't taken the ones yet. Oh, yeah. So the positions are over here, and these are the political courage tests, and where you're at on those tests. Okay. You can track the politician. And then we go to ratings. Now, what these folks do is they take the collective of all your votes. Okay. And with that, they see what your votes are, 100 being conservative, to the lesser end, more to the 0 is more towards the liberal stance. Okay. Center for Arizona Policy is a conservative think tank here in Arizona, pro-life. So that would be the scores that you would you would have. Now, let's say conservatives. You click on that. Where'd it go? Oh, sorry about that, y'all. I clicked the wrong one. Here we go. You click on that. Oh, they didn't put that one out yet. There's no vote on that one yet. So, but you get you get what I'm saying on this. You can oh, there we go, right there. So overall, the ACU, the American Conservative Union, they take, that was in 2022. They haven't put my new score up here. They take all of your votes, and collectively put those votes together, and then they come up with a rating. So 1,200 votes, they are going to go through 1,200 votes based on what they do and calculate a score. Okay. And if you want to know more about the organization, you click who they are, and it'll come up. Okay. And it talks, and it goes through everyone's score, all the way from the DC to each state to everywhere. So let's see. See, we got, let's see. So this is a collection of all the scores, not just what you get on a flyer or what somebody has put out in a mailer or what have you. Okay, these are the state folks. So let's see. Let's look at a Democrat. Okay. So we have we have a Democrat here. Let's see. Okay, right here, Lupe is, oh, he's a Republican. Where's another? Okay. So we got Elma Hernandez. She's a Democrat, And as I said, this is a conservative score scorecard bank. You click on Miss Hernandez, Representative Hernandez, and it shows you her scores. Okay. So that's where you would go. This is where I go. Vote smart. And you just put in the politician's name, and it comes up, and it tells you everything that you need to know about that politician. It's got their website, so on and so forth. The next one I go to is I go to the Goldwater Institute. Now, the Goldwater Institute has let me get out of that really quickly, folks. I shouldn't be in that right there. Let me do this really quickly. All right. I go to the Goldwater Institute because the Goldwater Institute is sort of, Barry Goldwater. Okay. Barry Goldwater is the man. So what I do is, it's another one you can go to, the Barry Goldwater, www.goldwaterinstitute.org. And they have their scorecards out also. This is a standard that I go to also. I don't look at some of the crazy ones that are out there, because they're not really talking about all the issues. This is another one that all of your cards are your votes. So the issues that they go through, litigation, news, policy reports, get involved. So this is a good one that I go to. I have not seen a scorecard come out of here yet. However, I understand that they do come out of here. So again, they talk about property rights, free speech, limited government. These are things that conservatives really should be looking at and doing when they're talking about their scores. Okay. And the last one that I go to is the Birch Society, and it's the American, I think, let me pull it up. The Arizona Legislative Scorecards. It is the Freedom Org, and they are an offshoot of the Birch Society. Now we're talking constitutionalist folks that are constitutionalists. Now this card right here is we have the standard bearers. I consider this the top one. Okay, if you know anything about the Birch Society, it's a constitutional deal, and it is a legislative scorecard based on the principles of the U.S. Constitution. Now, why do I say that? Because a lot of folks, what they will do is they will say that they are conservative, or they'll say that, well, he's a rhino. He's a rhino. He's not a constitutionalist. He's a rhino. So if you want to know somebody's true scorecard concerning the Constitution, I'm talking about a constitutionalist, not someone who pretends that they understand the Constitution, or someone who carries the pocket or the small booklet of the Constitution in their coat pocket, and they pull it out and say, "Oh, I'm a constitutionalist," but they vote the opposite. This group right here, these folks don't play. So, let me see. I haven't seen this year's scorecards. Okay, let's see. We got them in there. I think that's 2024. I wasn't in 2024. So let me I need to go to the year that I was in, 21, 22. Oh, there I am. So the legislative scorecard based on principles of the Constitution has rated me as a 83. So what I like to do, and the same as the vote, it comes out and it tells you if they're opposed to it or they I seem to always not hit that damn button, that mute button. Now, I had just been going on for like 40 something minutes and the damn mute button was on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is insane. So, but if you've been looking at it, I guess I can, edit this and go back and do an edit. What we talked about was scorecards, and we talked about where you can find out what's going on in the budget. Okay. If you want to stay around, so I'll do this again and you can hear what I am saying. I'll do that, and I've got no problem with that. And we'll just kind of reel it back. I see, I'm not a professional doing this, but I like doing it. So I just got to remember to hit the unmute. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
So I wouldn't make a good video podcaster, but let's go ahead and run through this again really quickly. So voting cards, scorecards. There are a few of them a few places where you can get your scorecards. Some lawmakers rely on these scorecards to get reelected, to push their message out, so on and so forth. Scorecards are biased. They are biased because, for example, I used this example before. We voted over 1,200 bills this past session, over 1,200 bills. And you'll have special interest groups that will take out probably 10 of those bills, and they will score you on 10 bills out of 1,200 bills. And then they will say, well, you're a rhino. You're not a conservative because we scored 10 of your bills, and 10 of your bills that we like that you may not like. Guess what? You are a rhino.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
And that's what they do, ladies and gentlemen. So there are a few places you can go to find out what your legislature is doing and where their vote is. Where are they at on that spectrum? Okay. You can go to Vote Smart. And let me pull that up again really quickly. Vote Smart is it's a place where you can go to. Let me pull it up really quickly. Again, I hate to just do this again to y'all, boy, I tell you. So let's type in Walt Blackman. Let's see what Walt Blackman is doing. There I am. Okay, hold up. I got you. Where is it at? Okay, here we go. So, for whatever reason, it is not coming up. So what I'll do, let me do this for you, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll pull this up for you really quickly. Okay. We want to do that. I'm going to type in Walt Blackman on this program they have. And, that's why it's for 2022. So I am not in, that's for 2021, I believe. For whatever reason, it's not coming up. So you can go to Vote Smart. You can go to the Goldwater Institute. Again, I like the Goldwater Institute. I have some friends that were part of the Goldwater Institute, and they do scorecards. However, I have not seen any of the scorecards that they do. I haven't seen them, but from what I understand, they do scorecards. All right. And of course, if you're an Arizonan, you know who Barry Goldwater is. All right. Staunch conservative. Okay. And he's the man. He is the man. The man. Okay, you can go to there, or you can go, and this is the one that I like. I like to look at the Freedom Index. So the Freedom Index is a very, very conservative group that actually takes all of your scores and collectively they look at them and say, okay, this is the score for this person. So freedomindex.org. You can go to freedomindex.org or you can go to thenewamerican.com or jbs.org, and you will find where your legislature, your elected member, lawmaker stands. Now, this is a runoff. This is sort of in line with the John Birch Society. If you know anything about the Birch Society, they are a very constitutional minded group. The scores are based on principles of the U.S. Constitution. So you can't walk around and say, I'm a constitutionalist, but you're not voting in a constitutional, foundational, principled way. You just can't do that with these folks. This group also takes all of your legislation, not just 10. They take everything that you have voted on in that legislative year. And they look and see what's constitutional and what's not. And then they score you based on the constitutionality of it. That's how they score you. Okay. Now, it says that in what year? In 2021, 22, I was scored an 83. Okay. As a constitutionalist. All right. So let me see where everybody else was scored. So this is 2023, 2024. Let's go back to, let's compare again when I was in the Arizona House. Now this is 21, 22, and this is basically where everybody is at, where they were at. Okay. So when you go through this, you will be able to tell who is a constitutionalist, who is a conservative, okay, based on the Freedom Index, a principled constitutional organization of who is a conservative. So of course you see some of the folks, former Representative Andrade, he's a Democrat. His score is 0, which, I'm sure he wouldn't want to score high on this because then that means he is a, conservative. Okay. But we see a lot of the folks that say that they are staunch conservatives, that they are hardcore conservatives. According to the Constitution, according to the Arizona Legislative Core Scorecard Freedom Index, they really are not. A lot of it is just people talking. A lot of it is showmanship. And that's when you just go back and look at their scores. Now, again, this isn't the be all. This is my guideline that I use. Okay, this is what I use to see where I'm at, to get a temperature of where I am constitutionally. Okay, where am I at constitutionally? Am I doing what is right according to the Constitution? Let's see what happened last year. So last year, 2024 or 23-24, again, Uh, you have your conservatives on here. And I think the highest score on there, oh, I forget which one it was. Okay. And again, just because some of these scores in Republicans are not as high as some people think that they should be, okay, does not mean that they are not principled. Okay. It doesn't mean that when we're talking about Republicans, conservatives, conservative Republicans. Let's do this. Let's do. Nope, we don't have that. Let's do this. We'll just do Republicans. Okay, these are all the Republicans. I took out the Democrats because we already know that they're going to get like 0 or less, or 0 or less. They're going to get less than 20. Okay, these are Republicans according to this group. Last year, I wasn't in last year, of their score according to the Constitution. Okay. Now, usually, my good friend Senator Bullock, she has a higher score. She came in late because she was appointed, so she had less votes for them to score on, and that's where the trueness of the scores come from. Okay, so they look at your collective score for that session. Some of these folks have been in there for a while, and some have the scores that they have. And again, there's nothing wrong with their scores per se. Liz Harris, she is, according to this website, she is a constitutionalist. And a lot of people get upset at her, or they, think she's this or that. You understand what I'm saying? And, she's a constitutionalist. Okay. We have some true constitutionalists here. And then we have some folks that say that they're constitutionalists or they're conservative or what have you, and they may not be, but it doesn't mean that they're not principled conservatives. It just means on some parts of the Constitution, they are not, they may not be voting according to the Constitution. Okay. And if we look at, let's look at somebody who is not there. Let's look at this guy. He's former Senator Borelli. Congratulations to him. He is Maricopa. I think he's Maricopa County. He's a board of supervisor. Also a former Marine. I want to give a shout out to former Senator Borelli, also Supervisor Borelli, and former Marine. Okay. Now, this does not mean that he is not principled. This just means where he is at. Pro-liberty votes. Constitution pro-liberty. John Burke. Okay. Subsidized community colleges. He voted a yes. They oppose that. Taxpayers should not bear the burden of paying for people's college education. Now, isn't that something that we talk about now? Isn't that something that the Trump administration has been talking about now, that you should be paying for your own college? You should be pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Okay. So it doesn't mean that he's not principled. It means that on that particular topic or issue, he thought differently. Okay. Now, to swing it back the other way, repeal abortion ban. Arizona should act to prohibit the practices of abortion entirely, and secure the right to life for all persons. The right to life is the most fundamental, God-given, and unalienable rights asserted. Okay, in the Declaration of Independence. This is their verbiage, and according to the 5th and 14th Amendment. Okay, he voted no for whatever reasons. Now, see, here's the deal. I want to talk about this one, not about former Senator Borelli, not about his particular vote, because he voted no. However, they opposed it. Okay. I mentioned Senator Bullock in this a few moments ago. She voted yes because she voted for the Constitution. She voted yes because she says, and she understood that every American is guaranteed, okay, through the 5th and 14th Amendment in the U.S. Constitution, that we have unalienable rights, God-given rights, asserted in the Declaration of Independence and guaranteed by the 5th and 14th Amendment. Okay? It doesn't mean that this group are, when this bill went down, that pro-lifers are for abortion. That's not what they are saying. What they are saying is that this person is voting based on the Constitution. And a lot of people get that confused, and a lot of people get mad. I know she took a lot of hits last year because people were saying that she is this or that. But the Constitution says something else based on the legislative core scorecards, based on the principles of the U.S. Constitution. Again, not saying anything against former Senator Borelli. Just I'm looking at his scorecard, just happened to look at it. He's no longer in office. So extending governmental health care. He said yes. They opposed it. Neither health care nor social welfare is the legitimate object of the government. Now, a lot of folks will say, whoa, wait a minute. The government should be paying for health care. They should be doing this. Okay. According to the Constitution, 14th Amendment and the Bill of Rights, it says we shouldn't be doing it. So this is just where's something else? This is something that, we need to be looking at. Okay. And just one more other thing. What does the Constitution say about education, K through 12, that states are responsible for paying for their K through 12 funding? Okay. Increasing basic state aid for K through 12. The education ought not be under the control of the state. It should be under the control of the jurisdiction at the lowest level, the school districts. A child's education is the responsibility of and fundamental right to choose retained by his or her parents. Forcing the citizens of Arizona to furnish taxpayer money to expand is failing, and it is a government-run program. So, the reason why I read these things, is because when folks say that they are conservative or they are constitutionalist or they're calling somebody a rhino or this or that, there are resources out there that you can go to and you can really see these resources that I have shown you. Okay. Vote Smart, the Goldwater Institute, and Freedom Index, based on constitutional principles, will give you some sort of bearing on where your lawmaker's at. Do not listen to the Facebook person, Twitter person. Don't even listen to me, for Christ's sake. Do your own homework. Go to the source. So the next time that you are in front of someone and they are saying, this person is a rhino, then you can say, let's see, is the person a constitutionalist? Is the person a conservative constitutionalist? Is the person a moderate? You can be able to discern that through the resources. Okay. Closing out, when we're talking about the budget, if you want to know exactly how much something costs the state, Go to JLBC. I brought it up, www.jlbc.gov, azjlbc.gov. Again, go to where the numbers are. Don't rely on, we used to call them in the military, not jailhouse, barracks lawyers. A barracks lawyer knows everything. A barracks lawyer will say, you know what, you're not going to get an Article 15 because you know what, I read the book on it. It's usually some private or something like that. It's been in the Army about a minute. We call them barracks attorneys, barracks lawyers. Don't get caught up in the social media, I would say, folks that say that they know who is a Republican, who is a conservative, and who is not, or who is a constitutionalist. Do your own homework. Make your own decision on that. Don't let somebody else make your decision on it, because when you do let somebody else define who is a conservative, who is not a conservative, and you let them do that by misinformation that they have put out, then you don't vote for that person. And then when they get in office, you're all of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute, this person is not doing what they said they were going to do. Then that's your fault. You did that. I used to have a drill sergeant. You say you get what you got and you got what you deserve. And it's true. Don't use social media as your only resource to get information about a candidate, about a policy, about legislation. Don't do that. Tomorrow or Thursday, we're going to be talking about HR1, the big, beautiful bill. And yes, I am going to talk about all of the issues and all of the positives about it. It's 1,000 pages. 1,000 pages. And I've read it. And I know what it does, and I know what it doesn't do, and I know what it does to Arizona. So I am not going just to sit here and say, you need to take my word for it when we start talking about the big, beautiful bill. What I'm going to do is put the references up there, pull out what I discerned from it or what I gathered from it, share that information, and give you the information you need about what that bill does. And it's up to you to read it. If you want to read, I'm not telling you got to read 1,000 pages. I'm not saying you have to do that. What I am saying is, though, if you're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill, make sure you have at least cracked the first page so you can read it. And you can kind of at least know what the title is or the HR. You know, some people don't even know what HR means. House resolution. Okay. So let's make sure that we are doing our homework and we're not just spewing a bunch of noise when elections are so important. It is so critical that that we understand what's really going on with these elections. Okay, so let me go ahead and get ready to close up. Remember, this Thursday, 7:30 to 8:30, and this time I'll remember to turn on my mic. I did that last night too. Oh my goodness. 7:30 to 8:30. I'll be back in Snowflake. We are going to talk about HR1, the big, beautiful bill. And we are going to set up a call-in as well. So our call-in will be set up. You'll be able to call in. I'll put that number out so you can call in and you can give your opinions on this bill. And you can, voice your concerns, particularly how it affects positive or negatively in Arizona. So we'll be doing that Thursday, everybody. Hey, I'm Walt Blackman. I hope that you enjoyed this. We'll be doing a lot more of this because we are out of session. Because this is fun to do, okay? Now, make sure that you have a great and wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. Remember, if you want to get a hold of me, you can go to my website, www.votewaltb.com. If you want to go and see what I'm doing on TikTok at Walt Blackman 1, or you can jump on over to my x/Blackman4AZ. You can do that. Or if you want to know what I'm doing officially, just head on over to www.azledge.gov House member. If you want to see a repeat of this, jump on over to YouTube. Everybody, I'm Walt Blackman. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you Thursday, 7:30, same bat channel, same bad time. Take care, everybody. God bless.
I am the example. That's my intention. The choices I make each and every day, they are not just for me, they are for everyone around me. I am the example to everyone I touch and the compound effect of those people. My example has a flow-on effect to everyone around me, and I do not take that responsibility lightly. Everything I do, I set the example. I am grateful for the opportunity to be the example. I set the example. That's my intention. I set the example through my actions.